Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for this massive holiday decor and stuff declutter. I showed you videos of how much stuff we had, and last time we completely decluttered the Halloween stuff. That took me a total of about 1 hour to do all of that, and that was a relief. This is going to take more than an hour, so I'll split this up or condense it so that you can see all of the Christmas declutter really easily and quickly. I measured the square footage of all of our stuff. And in fact, I didn't measure with the Halloween stuff. Our Christmas and Hanukkah stuff measures about 10 feet by 12. That's 120 square feet of stuff. And it's packed in pretty close. And not only is it just a foot high, most of it is about 2 feet high. We're talking about 240 square feet of Christmas and Hanukkah stuff. And no wonder I feel overwhelmed. No wonder I don't want to decorate. No wonder I just feel like I can't breathe. And this time of year with Christmas, New Year, Hanukkah, all of that is a little bit of a stressful time of year anyway, because there's so much going on. People are coming and going. Everybody comes home for Christmas. We have visitors. There's food I don't normally eat. There's stuff going on that we don't normally do. And I can see why this is becoming more and more of a burden to me. And so there's so much that what I'm going to do to start this, and here's a suggestion, I'm going to think about what I care about without even seeing it. And so I've been thinking about, if I could only save 3 or 4 things for Christmas, what would they be? So our Christmas stockings, because when I was a child, my mother made Christmas stockings for each of us. And so over the years, I went through and made Christmas stockings for each of my kids. I need to do a little repair on that, which I will do before I pack it away. But I went ahead as each child came, and I made them a new Christmas stocking, and even for my daughter-in-law when my son got married. So these stockings have been very special to us. And so those are an absolute keep, are the Christmas stockings. For a period of time, I collected nativities. And when I think about those, one that just is dear to me is the nativity that I bought in Jerusalem. And I didn't even put it out this year because I was so overwhelmed with decorating. We never actually decorated for Christmas. The kids did it all, and I just didn't even want to think about it. And I understand why now that I see it all in one spot. So the stockings, the nativity, and then each year we do a little something with gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And those are, I have a decor thing with those. The rest, I think I might be able to let go. Now, as I look through things, I will decide what I really do want to keep and what I don't. I would like to get our Christmas stuff down to 2 bins if I could. Basically, decor and then Christmas tree decorations and things. We'll see. I'll do the best I can. So I have ready a box for Goodwill, a garbage bag, a spot for recycle, and then I'll put things where they go if they are here, but they don't belong here. I should make a comment. I'm going to declutter both Christmas and Hanukkah at once because we usually decorate for those at the same time. So maybe 1 bin for Hanukkah and 2 bins for Christmas. That's my goal. And so let's get started. Okay, I've been showing you this piece of decor. I've been actually using this all year. This is a piece I'm going to keep because for each season I make a new mandala, and then I just magnetically hook it on there. So this small thing is used all year long. I want to keep that because for me, that's a smart way to do decor, where you have one thing that you just keep changing out throughout the year. And then I store each of those mandalas in a box, and then I can just pull out the next mandala and shift it out. I like the idea of using towels to decorate for a holiday because they're small, they're very easy to store, and they're unbreakable. So we're keeping that one. Okay, so now while I show you quickly what happened, because this was about 3 hours it took me to get through all of this, so I don't want to show you all that, but I'll just tell you some of my thoughts and ideas as I went along. I had several things that people had given me or that I had bought expecting to do a project that I just ended up realizing it was just a lot of clutter. So a lot of that I just cleared out. A lot of things I had two of. For example, I had 2 Christmas pillows. I weeded one of those out. I had things that someone had given me for decor. And when I thought of it, I realized that person, if I asked, would probably care more about my mental health than about me keeping that piece of decor. And so if people love you, they're going to care more about how you're feeling than whether you kept that thing that they made for you or not. When I opened up our Hanukkah box, I realized that a lot that was in there was kind of tacky decor, and I decided to get rid of all of that and really pare it down. I also got rid of the book that goes along with our Minch on a Bench. We had an elf on a shelf as well as the Minch on the bench, and when I asked the kids, they said they'd rather have the Minch on a bench. So I got rid of the elf on a shelf. And then I had a box that was full of several different Hanukkah items. What I decided to do is just remove the things that I wanted and then leave the other things in the box and send it to Goodwill like that, so that if someone wanted a Hanukkah decor, they could just get that box. In the end, that Hanukkah decor was weeded down so far, we ended up with just a few quality items. I found a pretty Christmas box. It was very sturdy. I put all of our stocking hangers and stockings in that box so that next year when we decorate for Christmas, we're not looking around for the hangers or the stockings. We've got it all together. Some of the things I weeded out were some wax warmers. Typically, those scented waxes will give someone in the house a headache, so I weeded those out. I went through a box that just had so many little fiddly things, a whole bunch of jingle bells, some broken things, some things that the kids had from years ago that are insignificant now, some homemade decor, just so many things. And in that whole box of stuff that I had completely forgotten, I think I kept maybe 2 or 3 things. So just know when you go into your weeding out phase, just be prepared that there will be a lot that you truly don't care about that you can let go. I also had pillows. I had old sheets that I had used for snow-covered hills on our Christmas village. There were just so many things that I was able to clear out, and just bin after bin empty was so satisfying. There are some things that I knew I would keep. Our little tray for Santa, a porcelain angel statue that my mother and father-in-law had given me years ago, some nativities that the kids loved playing with. I have a Bible felt set that I use to tell the Hanukkah story every year. There just were so many things that I remembered that brought me joy and made me say, oh, next year I'm going to enjoy this. I had pieces to a nativity set that I had lost. They were all found and returned to their place. We had blankets and those really soft minky throws and several sentimental items that we're just happy to find and realize we want to keep. Now, here is something that I want to use as a suggestion. I have these little zip pouches, and they're kind of firm. And you know all those little decorations that your children make when they're small, and a lot of them contain their pictures, their handiwork. I have one for each of my children, and I just put those special ornaments that they made when they were little, and I just keep them like that for them to have. So I don't want to pass on a lot when I die. I don't want my children to have to deal with a whole bunch of my stuff. And so I'm trying to pare it down, but that's something that I think when they go through my things, they'll go, oh, you know, Mom saved that. It was special to her. So I'm willing to keep those. Uh-oh. My keep pile's getting bigger than my goodwill again, so I've got to pare it down. I mentioned in my previous video about our Christmas tree that we figured out about 20 years. Many of the lights are burned out. There are whole sections that don't have lights. And a lot of the ornaments we bought were non-traditional Christmas colors, and we liked it at the time, but we are ready to let the Christmas tree go, find a new one next year, and redecorate in a way that is currently more meaningful to us. So we had a lot of ornaments and way too many, I think. And so I went ahead and boxed those up, ready to go to Goodwill, because we're starting fresh next year. I opened another bin, and same thing. I found some things that I loved and were sentimental, some things that we've never used, and some things that I feel like maybe I ought to see about selling them because they have some value. And so it's just one by one going through each thing and making a decision. I have 14 Christmas Village houses. I haven't set those up. The last time I set those up was 3 Christmases ago. I haven't set them up because it took so long, and I had them up on my mantle. They were beautiful, but it took so long dealing with all the cords and everything else. I don't think I want to do that again. And I did ask my kids, and they said it's okay if I let go of the Christmas Village houses. I just don't know if I can. So I think what I'm going to do is go through and pick out just my favorites, and I think we'll go from there. Okay, so we're down to weeding out nativities, and I had one that I absolutely loved, and it broke this year. I don't have the skill or the materials to fix it, and I know I need to weed down my nativities, and so that's hard, but I'm going to let that one go to Goodwill. When I think about my nativities, I want to think right off, okay, what are the ones that I know I want to keep? And so this is my nativity from Israel. It's all boxed up. I didn't even put it out this year. That just shows how overwhelmed I have been with stuff that I wouldn't even put out my favorite things. That I am absolutely keeping. If I could only keep one nativity, it would be that one. But I do have others that are special to me. And I have this one that is in a frame, and it's a picture of many years ago when Anne was playing Mary, and it's just the sweetest photo, and that one is one I'm keeping. So I have several others. This is one that my daughter and I made at a church camp when there was a crafting thing. I can let that go. It doesn't have particular meaning to me, and I am going to let that go. I've got a bunch of ornaments, probably made of olive wood, that I don't need to hold on to. And then I have some I want to show you. Okay, so I have a few that I have written about that my daughter was in studying in Europe for a time, and she brought that home to me from Italy. I have the note that goes with it, and I want to keep that one. So I am wrapping that up. And for a time, my kids always brought something home from their travelers and from their travels. This was a handmade nativity that my son brought home from Italy. And so he actually told me the whole story about that, about going up this mountain, and there was this man who was a craftsman who was carving, and he made that. Those with the note are special. If they didn't have the note with them to remind me, I'd probably forget and they wouldn't be as special. And then this is one that I actually cross-stitched, that if I can't fit that in, I might be able to let that one go. But for now, I want to keep that in the keep pile. I have a big wooden nativity. It's big. That I'm going to let go. Then there's one other one that I easily have remembered that I want to keep, and this is one that Lindsay brought home to me from Canada, and it's got all the little pieces that sit inside a little dome. So this original packaging, it's the store and everything that Lindsay bought it at in Canada. And that, so I wrote on it all about that, that she brought that home to me from Canada. This is another one that my son sent home through a very long route. I have a whole story written down about it, and he brought that home from Italy as well. So we're keeping that one. Okay, so far I have let go of 5 nativities, and I have 6 that I'm keeping here. And I am really trying to adhere very closely to that 50% pare down that I decided long ago. As I was weeding out these nativities, I came across one that is very special to us. Usually it's the first nativity that goes up every year because it was the first nativity we ever had as a family. I had saved my money to be able to buy it. I loved it. It was pastel colors and just pretty. Now it's very outdated, but it's still very special to us. And this year, it didn't go up as the first nativity. It didn't go up at all. And so I'm really happy to be weeding this down so that we can return to some of those traditions that were meaningful to us. We also have an Advent house and a big Christmas train. Those I'm keeping because they are important to our family. So there are a couple of things that aren't going to fit into bins, so I'm just going to put those on the shelves where we can see them and it's easily tracked. Okay, I'm looking out into my room at what's going to Goodwill and what I'm keeping, and I might have to pare down a little more to fit things into 2 bins, but we're going to keep at it. So I want to get those things taken care of, and then we'll tackle the Christmas Village things last of all. Right here, I have been able to fit all the nativities that I'm keeping and several different other things. I just got them packed up because I needed to know how much space I had. We are at 1 full bin, lots of things that won't fit in a bin, and then some random things that do have to fit in a bin. And I've got my 3 wise men that are also going to need to fit into a bin. We've got books that I still need to go through, and all of our Christmas houses that are right here next to me as I decide what to do with all of this. The Christmas houses were really quite a project, and so I was actually able to weed out several, but I did keep several. I kept just slightly more than half. And you'll see in the video up ahead that I say I'm getting rid of all of them. That was the decision. I said I'm getting rid of them. And then that night I laid awake and thought, with all of this pared down, perhaps I will feel more able to tackle that Christmas Village. And so what I did, I went ahead and kept, I think, 8 of my favorites so that I am going to see next year if it's something that I feel like I can tackle with things being much lighter and pared down. And if not, I'll send them next year. But for now, I did go ahead and keep 8 of those Christmas Village houses. I need to give myself some time. And so here I am finally getting things packed up. It actually is very rewarding to know that what you're keeping is what you really want and what matters to you and your family. And make sure in things that if you can't decide, you include your family in some of those harder decisions. And so it was just really nice to get it packed. And make sure that as you pack, you use bubble wrap and other things to keep those things safe. These are the ones that made the cut. So make sure they're packed in a way that they won't break and they're kept nice for a long time. Okay, time to review. This pile is everything going to donate to Goodwill. That is a lot, and is more than half of what you'll see is what I'm keeping. This is our pile of empty containers, all different sizes, that I'm going to use to pack up the Goodwill and get it sent. But that's it. That is, all of this is what I no longer need to store. And that is enormous. Now let me show you what I'm keeping. Okay, this is everything. So yes, it is more than 2 bins. And I'm in my mind saying, is that going to feel overwhelming next year? I don't know. I will see. If it is, I will pare it down more. So we have our 2 bins that have decor and nativities. And then the top bin is empty, but it has the dividers so that I can put ornaments in it when we decide how to decorate our tree next year. And then, so these things are also going to have to sit on this shelf. We have one light up house. We have our stockings and the hangers in there that I showed you earlier. The bottom is packed up my gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And we actually burn frankincense each year as part of a learning thing. We have the nativity that I just could not give away, the Advent house, and the Christmas train. I'm going to call that pared down by way more than 50%. And so I'm going to get those on the shelves. I don't know if I even showed this at the beginning, but all of our Christmas stuff took up that whole shelf and all of these other shelves. I have the Christmas train behind this box for the Christmas tree. Now, the Christmas tree is going to go, but I wanted to plan for a spot for the tree to be so that I'm not left with no place to store something. I want a spot for everything. So the Christmas train and the tree are there. This is Christmas decor, the light up house and all of the stockings and things, plus a Halloween bin. And then down here is more decor, the other things in boxes, the box that's waiting for new ornaments, and a Halloween bin. So we went from Christmas stuff filling this area and spilling into every other area of the storage room and the house to everything contained in a breathable, manageable space. And so there we go. I feel very good about having this done. I hope that in some small way, joining me to go through this hard, arduous declutter and decision-making thing has helped you in some way. I know I feel so much better. My whole goal then this year is to declutter my home, declutter my food, declutter my finances, and declutter my time. And getting rid of this really helps in that decluttering time issue. And wow, the load lifted off me feels so great. I feel so good letting these things go. And I'm imagining people finding these at the Goodwill and feeling grateful and happy and really enjoying them. And so I hope you'll subscribe and stay with me this year as I tackle my entire house. And you saw how bad the storage room is. We're lucky to have a big storage room, and you might not have a big storage room like that. But there are things that you can do in the space that you do have. And so let's work on that together. I am determined to do this. I need it for my mental health. And we'll work on that together. So I want to sprinkle in some crafting and fun mixed in with the decluttering. But I am determined this year to have my crafting not create a lot of fiddly clutter, but to be actually meaningful and helpful. And so please subscribe, please comment, please give a thumbs up. Help me know what to do in my decision-making process. And I'll see you next time.